everybody, it's Kenzie Knox and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll learn how to paint this lovely seascape with a beach house. And it should be fun and relaxing, so sit back, relax, and let's start painting. To begin off with, I used cerulean blue with white, titanium white to paint in the sky, and then I took some aqua green and phthalo blue to paint in the water area. I later changed the shape of the water and then reformed it back to almost the original shape, so bear with me while I make modifications to this painting. Moving forward, I painted in some foliage with phthalo green and then decided to add some clouds using titanium white. I then started painting in a beach house in white, and it picked up some of the background color, but that's okay because we'll need multiple layers of white in order to make it bright and brilliant in color. I used gray for the roof, and then I continued working on my water, reshaping it numerous ways. You can shape it any way you'd like. I shaped it many times over, so make sure you keep that beach sand color using, I think I ended up using burnt umber and white to make this color. So paint in your beach sand and go over it multiple times. You'll need multiple layers. And then also we're going to just go over the house in titanium white. It's important to go over acrylic paints multiple times in order for their true colors to really shine through and to cover up any background color. You can see I picked up some brown there again, quite frustrating, I know. So make sure your paint is dry before you try to add some coats of paint to it. You can use a hairdryer, this is helpful sometimes, just make sure you don't have it on too high of a heat as it can change the texture or the composition of the acrylic paint. I then added in a seashore using titanium white and added in some waves, which I later got rid of, and I added some light blue violet under the water to create a shadow. I used light blue violet to shadow the house as well, and you can see I used luminous yellow and titanium white to fill in some of the windows. I used burnt umber to start creating some twigs and bushes in front of the house and created some shutters in some aqua green, I'm sorry. I then used dioxazine purple in order to create some of the bushes and covered them with sap green. I then painted in some window trim using Mars black or lamp black, depending on which black you have, it doesn't really matter. I then started painting in some palm trees and some faraway bushes, just using some light green shades and that burnt umber shade. Your palm tree should have at least 6 palm leaves coming out of them, if not more. I used many different shades of green to paint these in, mainly focusing around the light green shades and then making sure that the spine of the palm tree was very bright in color. I think I used brilliant yellow green to paint in the spine. I then used light olive green to paint in the palm leaves. Next, I decided to work on the foreground, adding a bush here using dioxazine purple. I then used sap green to tap in some of the foliage, and I accidentally clipped out part of the video, and I apologize for that. I used some white with some lime green and some white with some phthalo green to create those little highlighted areas of the leaves, and then I used some rouge to create some of the foliage of the flowers, and then I used light magenta to tap in some highlights of that flower, and then on top of that I used luminous opera and luminous rose in order to create a further highlight on top of those floral bushes. This really came out well and I was really happy with this floral bush area. So next I added some grass into the foreground using sap green and light sap green, and I added a little white to those greens to add some highlights. I used a light olive green as well as brilliant yellow green too. And so continuing on from here, I then added in some grass to the front of the house using sap green on top of light olive green. And then I went on in and created a pathway in front of the house using the same color that we used as the sand. I then added some further grass to create a pathway towards the house, which I thought was really nice. It opened that area up really well. And then I added some purple to shadow in the pathway. I then outlined the house in black just to add a little bit something extra. And that's about it. That's about our last step, besides adding that little palm tree back there. So I hope you enjoyed this YouTube tutorial. I know I did. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, I'll see you later. Okay, bye!